I think one of the best ways to get out of a creative rut like I've been in is to rearrange, organize, and clean up your creative space. Since about the middle of November, I've been in a creative rut of not being as productive as I want and not being able to fully focus on videos. With reorganizing the space and cleaning it and just making it better for me, I think that's going to really help with being able to keep working and focusing on my different creative outputs.
So there are a few changes that I made to the room. The major change is I took a couch and a chair that I never sat in out of the room and moved the other couch and chair to a different area. So that freed up a lot of space. But then I also moved a bookshelf and another cabinet to the other side of the room, which freed up even more space. Then I put together a set of shelving, which is just like your garage industrial shelving. It's nothing fancy. It's particle board, and I don't know if it's even steel. It might be aluminum or just sheet metal. I'm not 100% sure. But just doing that has helped me organize a lot more. And I also went and cleared out all the boxes from like Amazon and Games Workshop and stuff that I just had sitting in the room that I never got rid of. Got rid of all of that, and it just made the room feel a lot cleaner and a lot better. So if we kind of go through like what I have really organized, first off, there's these drawers that I have. So in these drawers, I've got basically some art supplies. I've got 3D printed miniatures and 3D printed things that I haven't really messed with yet. I've got all of the terrain pieces from the big Warhammer boxes. I've got all my guardsmen, my orcs, my space marines are all sitting in drawers in there. I've also got a lot of like my D&D books and extra things from different campaigns that I backed in these bottom drawers, along with some cutoffs of pine that I got from work that I'm going to use for different pieces of terrain and stuff that I want to make. But that's basically all that's in these drawers. Now let's move on to the other miniature stuff. This is all of my Ravage Star stuff, and it is the couple of commemorative Christmas Warhammer models that I picked up. The Red Gobbo Surprise and Grotmus Gitz. I picked up both of those as part of the commemorative stuff. I've got my Space Wolves Combat Patrol and Wolfguard Terminators up there. While I was at my local hobby store, I picked up 2 more boxes of Warhammer, an Orcs Combat Patrol, and a Squighog Boys box. Because yes, I am starting to have, I'm going to have a problem here. You know, just like everybody else. I'm going to have a pile of plastic crack that I need to go and paint. But I also have a lot of other ideas to work on. Then next to that, I've got my working area where I have all of my Necrons, because that is a big project that I'm working on. And I have my Fire and Hammer box, which I am working on. I am getting it closer and closer to done. Next to that, I've got all of my paints, along with some Army Painter air paints. You know, you can guess the reason for that. Plus, I've got, you know, some airbrush cleaner stuff, because I'll just come out and say it, I did buy an airbrush. So I have to figure out how that thing works now. And I've got my primers there also, along with my sable brushes, my dry brushes, and wolf bristle brushes, which is what I use on my Necrons. Then on the next shelf, I've got just a bunch of collectible stuff that I've collected for a little bit. Things like Twisted Taverns, Savage Worlds, Deadlands, and Pathfinder, Old Gods of Appalachia, the role-playing game, Ouroboros role-playing game. I've got my Magic cards. I have the Cyberpunk 2077 Collector's Edition statue, along with the Witcher 3 Collector's Edition statue there. Then I've got a box just to store my crafting tools in when I'm not using them. Basically, all the stuff that I got in the Fire and Hammer box is sitting in there. Stuff that I'm not using right now, like foliage and things like that. Then on the bottom shelf, I have the Warhammer boxes. I've got my Warhammer books down there. I've got the Fire and Hammer box. It's just kind of like a storage for bigger boxes. Then on this bottom shelf, I have all of my crafting supplies. So stuff from Woodland Scenic, stuff that was in the Fire and Hammer box. Got some Mod Podge in there. I've got chain link fence connectors in there for making armatures. That's a whole other story that I don't want to get into with this. And then next to that, I have just a bunch of scrap, like 3D printed resin support, stuff that I can use like sprues and stuff like that to make like sprue goo. Just random crap in those boxes. Then I've got a bunch of wormwood boxes that I want to make a castle out of, basically. So the final thing on the shelf is just a bunch of wood scrap. It's all stuff that I picked up from work because we were chucking it out, and I'm like, I could use this for stuff. Just like the one drawer with all those small pieces in it, it's just wood scrap that I figured I could use for a project. With having these 2 shelving units, I think that I can really get back to being creative because I've been able to organize this room and clean it up, and I don't have everything just scattered over like my work table or my game table or my desk. And I think it's gonna work a lot better for me. I'm ready to be creative again. Let's go ahead and get out of here and just start getting more creative. If you guys liked the video, hit that like button. If you want to see the next stuff that I'm cooking up, whether it's finishing up the Fire and Hammer stuff, my Necrons, any of those other miniatures that I have to paint, hit that subscribe button and just stick around. Let's have some fun. But other than that, I hope you guys have a royal day, and I'll talk to you later.